want to ask this question that it's around prepping for becoming a unicorn. So, I mean, technically, from one perspective, if you look at it, last year we had some 50 companies becoming a unicorn, upwards of 50 as I recall, and there are a lot many which are in the pipeline of becoming one. And what one thing that changes with the process is what I understand as someone who hasn't built a unicorn yet from scratch, but having worked with a few of them, what I understand is that the velocity of hiring changes very quickly. Like we see the number of people, like you mentioned at Meesho, quadruple in a very short period of time. Now, as someone who is in that phase, which who's clearly seen that yes, now this is where they'll be reaching at X number of values at X valuation, they'll be getting a lot of capital, and they might have to hire very quickly. How do we prepare for what's coming ahead of me in terms of tech hiring?
Oh yeah, so we run this exercise every quarter, right? Where we are sizing up what are the opportunities for the coming quarter, and now that we have reached to some stable state, we actually plan for 4 quarters together, and maybe then revisit that on a quarterly basis too. So one of the most important aspect is to figure out what sort of a team strength you have, what sort of capability have you built internally and externally. You may want to use, like I said earlier, the right partners to augment certain part of the capability. So capability sizing is one of the most important part when it comes to scaling up in a very quick time. The number two aspect is also to be mindful of the fact that how are you able to sustain the scale up. So what sort of tools that you've used, right? What sort of backend processes that you've been able to develop, and how do you make sure that those are giving you enough insights and data to be able to sustain that. So today, recruiting is not just sourcing resumes, facilitating interviews, and closing selection conversations, but it is also planning. So within the recruiting team, there are think tanks which work with you to identify certain areas of projects where you need to build better efficiency. You relook at, or you sidestep and look at what sort of sourcing channels is working well with you. Is your employer referral program giving you enough bandwidth and is giving you enough leeway in terms of finding good people there? Is your internal sourcing capability improving? Is your vendor dependency kind of decreasing so that there is some cost savings there? So, coupled with all the three things that I talked about, one is to building the capability of the team, to figuring out the right partnerships, to having a think tank, which will allow you to plan and measure on a quarter to quarter basis, can be the only way for you to scale up in quick time.